I'm going to ask Ms. Garofoli to introduce our resolution.
Yes, Mayor Sardillo, I'd like to introduce resolution number 2018-230, authorizing the execution of the settlement agreement between the Township of Warren, Fair Share Housing Corporation, and the interveners, meaning the developers. And I'd be happy to read the entire thing if you want to do that.
Is that necessary?
It's not necessary, but you can do it if you like.
Let me read it.
Okay.
Whereas the Township of Warren filed a complaint in July of 2015 seeking declaration of its compliance with the Mountain Laurel Doctrine and Fair Housing Act of 1987 in accordance with NJAC 5:96 and 5:97. And whereas after extended negotiations since 2015, with the participation of the court and the court-appointed special master, Fair Share Housing, the intervening, meaning the developers and interested parties, K. Hovnanian, North Jersey Acquisition LLC, Premier Development, Chase Partners Warren LLC, and 284 King George Road 2 LLC, American Properties at Mount Bethel LLC, and North Hill Developers have agreed to settle the litigation and present the settlement for review and approval by the Superior Court having jurisdiction over this matter. That means the courts have the right to say yay or nay. Whereas the attorney, the township attorney, township planner, and the township administrator have participated in the extended negotiations and have advised the township committee regarding the proposed settlement agreement, and have also recommended that the proposed settlement agreement be approved by the township committee. And whereas the township committee believes it is in the best interest of the township of Warren to approve said settlement and to authorize the appropriate township officials to execute same on behalf of the township. Now therefore be it resolved by the Township Committee of the Township of Warren that the appropriate township officials are hereby authorized to execute a written settlement agreement in the form substantially similar to the document attached, so long as any changes required are determined by the township attorney do not significantly deviate from the terms of settlement. Be it further resolved that the township clerk is directed to make the settlement agreement available for public review. Be it further resolved that this resolution shall take effect immediately. I need a second on that motion.
Second.
Okay, we're going to discussion. Mrs. Garofoli, do you have anything you want to add?
I think this is the best settlement we can get. It's a 2-to-1 ratio. It's a better deal than we got in rounds 1 and 2. The Supreme Court has spoken, and the only way we can change that is to go to the Supreme Court. This is the best deal in New Jersey, and you can quote me.
Then do it.
Gives Warren, excuse me?
Then go to the Supreme Court.
It gives Warren control, particularly that we will all go to the planning board. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Mr. Marion, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of misinformation out there. I feel for everybody in this room. I think, no, I do.
Please, no dialogue, please, let him
I
finish
gave you
this.
your chance, but at the end of the day, this is a sham, in my opinion. This whole thing is. But I've been doing this for 3.5 years, fighting for this township. And while Ms. Garofoli states, if you read the agenda, it clearly states the interveners. The interveners are the builders. They are the ones that are attached to this. We did not decide where these places go or where they would be developed at all. We did as much as we could to fight that. And I'm only voting yes because I want the ability to retain the fact that I can defend you folks and work with you folks to make sure these don't come online through the planning board. That's it.
Thank you. Mr. Lazo?
Yes, Mr. Marion says it well. We do not have a map in front of us that says that we have stick pins and we could say, this is where the properties are gonna go. We don't own the properties. Developers and interveners own the properties. And then we have to decide, our fight was a brutal fight. It is a sham. It's decided by Fair Share Housing, unelected officials that are working with the court systems. There's 13 judges that are assigned to the state of New Jersey. When Governor Christie kicked this can down the road for his 8 years, when he left office, they decided the judges were going to take it, and Fair Share Housing became more powerful than the governor of the state of New Jersey. And they decided that this was going to proceed. And we all think it's a very good idea. We all think that people should have access to our affluent communities and our school systems. But we don't decide where those properties are. We're residents in this town as well. We understand what's going on. To Mr. Marion's point, we've been doing this for 3.5 years. Hours and hours and hours of arguing and negotiating. We've got a settlement from our attorney who did an excellent job. that is second to none in the state of New Jersey. We fought this as best as we could. We got this number down as far as we could. We couldn't share all the information because it's in litigation. We did the best that we could. We took all of your thoughts into consideration. We are residents here as well. My kids went to the school systems as well. I know exactly what you're going through. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I have to travel to New York City several days a week, every week. I travel the same darn exits that you do. I get it.
Please, this is enough.
Let me finish. Let me finish. Let me finish. This was determined by the Supreme Court. To Mrs. Garofalo's point, the power was taken away from elected officials. And all we can do as elected officials is to negotiate the best darn deal that we could. And I believe we did.
Thank you. Mr. Donato, Deputy Mayor, I don't know if you can hear me. Is there any comment you'd like to make?
No, not this time. I think George and Nick said it the best.
All right, thank you.
I did speak to a retired Supreme Court judge just recently to follow up, and off the record, I asked him what possibilities were to go back and try to fight it, and he said, don't do that. We would lose all our ability to negotiate, and we could be stuck with more than the original number, and every other developer would jump in and try to get a piece of the action. And that was his recommendation. I was on the phone all day on Saturday as well as Friday, trying to come up with some better ideas. And that comes from a former Supreme Court judge. So I just wanted to share that with everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, Gary. I have to say, my colleagues are 100% correct. We have a low probability of success and probably a high cost. But I would not stand, I've stood this way from day one in executive session. My colleagues will attest to that. I've been fighting this. I do not accept those in power, Fair Share Housing, the State House of Courts, telling us what our community should look like. It's absolutely wrong. I cannot, in my conscience, support something that's being pushed and forced upon me. I take Route 78 at exit 40 every day. Mr. Crane will know I've been trying to get the safety issues corrected there in Tall Oaks. I spent 5 minutes trying to get, at 7:30 yesterday morning, trying to get on Hillcrest. At 7 o'clock last night when I returned from New York, there were 13 or 14 cars in front of me at 7 o'clock trying to get onto Hillcrest Road so I could get back onto Tall Oaks. That's terrible. I can't imagine living on there, but I don't live that far from you guys, and I use it all the time. The environment, you know, I said this at the last meeting, and I've said this every time they put a development in Warren, and I fought, along with my colleagues, the Joint Commission, because we thought the traffic would be too great on 36. I watched as the development went down many years ago and saw the squirrels trying to find homes in a tree, and there's one giant tree in someone's front yard. There were so many squirrels on it, the leaves started falling down. And I thought to myself, where is the wildlife going to go? How is the environment and climate change going to be controlled? You know, it's interesting. The DEP is so much on top of us when it comes to us adding, as someone said earlier, in addition to our house that might be too close to wetlands or require too many trees come down. But when the government above the local community wants to do something, they forget all the rules. I think it's an environmental nightmare. I said it before, those people moving in there, and someone said it very, very clearly today, are gonna have more problems with doctor, more problems, they're gonna hear noise, they're gonna have the fumes from the traffic. They're not gonna be happy. They're gonna come in here, there'll probably be 50 of them complaining about their conditions based on what we're being forced to do. This group of Warren Township officials are high-level professionals. We're all homeowners. We've all been in Warren for more than 25 years, and we have a lot of friends, not only in this audience, but around town. You have a great group of professionals. I may have differences of opinion with some of them at some times, and Caroline knows that. Probably the best of anybody. We're like brothers and sisters fighting all the time. But I for one, I'd rather fight and lose than not fight at all. So, you know, I don't know what else to say. I bought a burial plot in Warren. I plan to stay here the rest of my life, but I, like you, and beyond my life, but I, like you, question whether the community is going to be the same in the future. So, whatever happens today, I'm still going to do my best to keep the community as safe as possible. So with that being said, I'm going to go to roll call.